He didn't talk about democracy. Now, I know there are a lot.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first KMU podcast of 2026. I'm your host, Ricky Chabruggi, and joining me over there is Derek Relaford. How's it going, Derek?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. Just trying to get my living situation figured out and all that kind of good stuff. I'm still trying to get my heart situation figured out.
It's been like 3 weeks since we've talked.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get a dentist. They'll take my insurance, which has been a pain in the rear end. And what else is new? So I'm still working on that. And like I said, my living situation, since my apartment complex and the one next door to me both got sold. And so I'm trying to figure out where we're moving to. I looked at a couple places, and I think I'm going to take one of those. And I just got to make sure I got the finances set so I can do it, which will happen beginning of February. So should be good to go.
Doing big things, man. You got a lot going on for 2026.
Yeah. I think when I set up my computer and stuff in my new place, I think we're doing my setup a little different because I bought some stuff out of work that we had over the holidays. I think it'd be really cool. It's like these little signs that are like this big. They sit on a shelf, so I'll probably have to put up like little floating shelves or something. One says live, one says on air.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They're like $2. $2-3, I think. So they look cool.
Yeah, I got my green screen turned on right now, but
mine's
on. I've been moving around my house to different areas, so like it's just I'm just in an empty basement room right now.
Oh, okay.
So I throw the old green screen on behind me.
Yeah. No, I was telling you before the show out here, since the buildings got sold to new owners, they're already starting to work on landscaping, and they're tearing balconies down and rebuilding them and gutting some of the apartments out already that have been vacant. And, I mean, they're really taking them down to bare bones, just about getting rid of all the carpeting, padding, cabinets, flooring, appliances, the shower stalls, everything. I mean, they're going to completely redo them all from the ground up. I mean, they're going to be nice, I'm sure, and which they desperately needed. I'm not going to say they didn't, because they do.
Yeah.
But man, they're not wasting any time getting on it.
Yeah. You hope they're nice, man. Like I lived in an apartment in Phoenix before we bought our house out there, and so I watched them. We got a place that was pretty newly renovated because it was, somebody had moved out. They renovated it. We moved in. But I knew some people that had been living there for many years. And obviously, like if you don't leave your apartment for 5 to 6 or 7 years, they're not going to go in there and renovate it if you're just renting it and you keep re-signing a lease. Or unless like it's something serious, they're not going to go in there and give you a new kitchen or a new floor, unless they have to. But so I don't know. It just seemed like, a lot of the apartments I lived in, like you'd either have people that, and again, it was rarely like a person that you were dealing with. It was more like a company that bought the, it's like a group of investors that bought the place. And so you see sometimes they try to cut corners and stuff, but those apartments and stuff, I think that every 5 to 10 years that it's a good idea to get out of, if you're in one, get into a different one that's been updated and let them update that one. Like things move pretty quickly. It doesn't take long for things to get outdated.
Yeah, and I've been in this one 14 years, so
that's what I'm
15
saying.
years next month actually.
So your apartment probably looks nothing like one that was just rented out a year ago. Like I'm sure that they've changed a lot of stuff. So I mean, just it sucks that you're being forced to go to a new place and everything. But it's probably I'd say you're probably due for a new spot anyway.
Yeah, I think I'm ready for a new place. Yeah. I mean, I like this place, but I just need something a little bigger.
Yeah.
Not immensely bigger, but a little bit.
Yeah. So we've Rodney Cox in the house. We got Ellen Dodson. We got lots of people here. Kelly Uphoff. Haven't seen her for a while. That's awesome. We're gonna go over some cold cases, some missing teens, also some out-of-state cases. Make sure you follow Ricky's Facebook page. That's where most of the work happens. And we're gonna go ahead and get into some cases here.
I had a hard time getting cases.
Shout out in chat where you're watching from. Go ahead though.
I was just going to say I had a hard time getting cases loaded because I was telling you before the show too that KBI was having issues a lot last week. It was kind of a hit and miss, up and down, and then from like Thursday throughout the weekend into Monday and part of Tuesday, their site was completely down. So I couldn't access anything to see if anybody had been located. I couldn't access to see if somebody was listed. I mean, none of that. So I tried to do the best I could with going through, making sure when KBI came back, which finally did, that they were on there. I think I might have one or two that's not on there, but I don't know if they're not on there because they've been found or if they're not on there because with the website being down, they haven't had a chance to get them on there. So, hopefully hopefully we'll see.
They're probably just doing, it's a new year. They're probably going through cleaning stuff up, going through seeing who's, I mean, I'm sure if you had the manpower, you could go through all of your public files. There's probably a few people that have been found, people that have been, you got flyers that you made, 3 or 4 years ago that are still in your pictures and stuff. So maybe they're just doing it is, the end of the year and everything. Maybe they're just doing an overhaul of the site.
Well, I was told that there was system hardware issues, but I don't know. So we'll see. I mean, it seems to be working now. So see how it goes. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Even Annette always messaged me and asked me if I was having issues with it because she couldn't get on it. And I said, yeah. And told her about, I emailed KBI about it and was told it was the system's hardware and stuff like that. And then when I noticed it came back up, I messaged her again and let her know that it was back up. So she couldn't access it either. So I know I'm not the only one now.
Yeah. Pretty wild stuff, man.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get started here with Lori here. Oh my goodness. This is one we've covered quite a bit. Gosh, it's just one that really bothers the heck out of me because it just hasn't been solved. And it's just like, why not? I mean, this was June 25th, 2016. Lori Heimer was brutally murdered at a rural area Kansas home. She ran her business, Lori's Poodle Patch, from her home in this area there. She was a licensed breeder of miniature-sized poodles and was licensed through the state of Kansas. KBI was contacted to assist the Saline County Sheriffs in the investigation. They responded with agents and their crime scene response team, and during the investigation, 2 vehicles of interest were developed. Vehicle 1 was said to be an older flatbed pickup truck, possibly a Chevrolet, which is described as beat up, maroon color with a white front bumper, silver grille, and wide-style side mirrors. The driver was described as a man who was 50 years of age or older with salt and pepper hair. Vehicle 2 was an older style small pickup truck, possibly a Chevrolet S10, with a 2-tone paint job, dark blue on the top and bottom with light in the middle, a silver back bumper, a newer blue tailgate that appeared to have minimal damage when compared to the body of the truck, The remainder of the vehicle is described as beat up and scratched up. There may have been 2 animal cages or crates in the back. The driver of this second vehicle was described as a white male, approximately 40 years of age, with shoulder-length hair and wearing glasses. Investigators have said they would like to locate these 2 vehicles. They would also like to speak to anybody that had any contact or a business appointment with Lori at any time between June 20th and 25th, 2016. If you have any information regarding the murder of Lori J. Heimer, please call the Saline County Sheriff's Office at 785-826-6500 or the KBI at 1-800-572-7463. And there is a reward of $37,500 available for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for Lori's murder. So if anybody has any information on that at all, let's get that in there. See what we can do. See what we can do on that.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Been long enough that, probably should go ahead and get that solved. Which, by the way, there's been quite a few cases that we've covered over the last 5 years that have had some resolution. They did finally ID Chance Englebert's remains out there in Nebraska. We had, obviously, Cynthia Renee Gonzalez's case has saw some resolution. Alexander Perez, which that one wasn't. It looks like from the research I did, like that guy did go down for it. Like I think that's kind of a. Is it still on KBI? Alexander Perez, is he still listed? Is it same old?
He's not on there anymore.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's kind of like a solved. Granted, they don't know where his body is, but I think they know where his soul is.
See, that's what kind of bothered me because there's other cases that are on KBI where they haven't found a body, but yet they still have left them on KBI. So I don't know.
I don't know what they found in Garden City out there when they were digging all those times and all the stuff, but and then our source that called me said that he didn't think that they were going to put that on that person, but everything that I'm seeing looks like that's like a closed case, which means I think they feel like they got somebody behind bars for they haven't figured out enough to take it off KBI.
Yeah, they must know something we don't.
Yeah,
obviously. And this is another one that's been going on for a little over a month now. It's Ian Shelton. Went missing from Sedgwick County, Kansas, December 2nd, 2025, around 9:30 p.m. He was last seen leaving West Roll Seneca Bowling Alley at 1909 South Seneca and Wichita in a white 2012 Mazda Miata, Kansas tag 8898ALH. The white Mazda was located. However, Ian remains missing. Surveillance video confirms that Ian was at Lake Afton at approximately 2:12 a.m. on Wednesday, December 3rd. And that photo on the far right there is an image taken from surveillance video of him at Lake Afton. Again, he's 30 years old, 5'8", 165 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. Last seen wearing a gray zip-up hooded sweatshirt, black t-shirt with an image on the front, blue jeans, and white Nike shoes. Can't tell what that image is on the shirt. I've tried, but I can't quite tell. But if you have any information regarding Ian's disappearance, of his whereabouts, please call the Sedgwick County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 316-660-5300 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can't do to get Ian located and back to where he needs to be. I know his family is worried sick about him and wants to get him back home. So see what we can do to make that happen. And Drake down there says they found Chance, but let's see here. Some are still looking for evidence the family had him killed. Interesting.
I saw some way before they had found him. I actually, it was I don't know, it was probably a year ago when I learned that reward was like over 100,000, I think, is for Chances.
Wow.
And I don't know, I had a hunch, and it wasn't a good one. Like I didn't think that. I don't know how Chance ended up where he ended up, but just based on the amount of cases that you and I have covered in the last 5 years, and whenever like I would really think about Chance, I was kind of convinced that And again, this is not a saying there was foul play, there wasn't foul play. I just didn't think that Chance survived the night. And I also felt like the elements and like it being dark, cold, wet, him being like in a kind of a verbal altercation with some people. Like I just felt like more than likely, he ended up like outside way too late, way too cold, way too wet, and succumbed to the elements. So that being said, like I figure, like this is again, I asked Norm if he wanted to go because Norm's a genius. Like he's a Norm's a pretty smart guy. But anyway, I was just thinking, I was like, if that's true, if he didn't like survive the night and he didn't get in anybody's car, nobody forced him to get in the car. He literally just walked until he couldn't walk anymore. Like I kind of figured that he wouldn't be far from where he was last seen. And when I read the reports, it doesn't sound. I think it was like maybe a couple miles from the last video surveillance is where they found his remains. So again, I don't know the circumstances of how Chance ended up, deceased out in the middle of nowhere, but I do know that he was walking by himself. It was getting dark. It got cold. It got wet, and that's usually just kind of a scary situation for anybody to be in. Hypothermia is a real thing, and
I know they said there was some surveillance video that they'd found at a convenience store where he was in a convenience store before he went missing and stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. Anywho, I'm just glad they were able to find him in my DMs, so his family at least knows, where he's at. Sure. And this flyer I did just right before the show, actually, I ran across her on KBI looking for a different case and saw that she'd been missing. It's actually Dr. Tony Zink. She's missing from Overland Park, Kansas since July 17, 2021. Was 40 when she was missing. She's now 45, 5'11", 140 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Doing some research, trying to see if I could find anything or any kind of post about her being missing, which I did not. I watched a KSHB story that they did on her back in 2020, being a doctor on the front lines of the COVID pandemic. Matter of fact, the picture on the right-hand side was from that interview. And I thought it was interesting because that interview was done July 2020, and here in July 17, 2021, she goes missing. I thought, that's interesting. But so if you have any information regarding Tony's disappearance, her whereabouts, you can call the Overland, Kansas Police Department, Overland Park, Kansas Police Department, 913-895-6300, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see what we can do to help get Tony found and back to where she needs to be.
$5 years, man.
Sorry about that. My younger daughter was talking to me.
Wow. It's kind of crazy. We've been doing this show since 2020, man. This show is 5 years old.
Yeah. Yep. Tony's neat. And there have been a few stories pop up on Gina here recently since it's.
I saw you shared it. I didn't know what the significance. I didn't know if it was maybe an anniversary or something.
Yeah, December 28th, 1995 December 2025, excuse me, makes 30-year anniversary of her murder. It's Gina Bridget Cyphers. She was 24 years old at the time with an infant son. By all accounts, Gina was a loving mother and a good person. Again, December 28th, 1995, Gina dropped off her 15-month-old son at a daycare program called Morning Out for Moms at a Salina church. When she didn't return, a couple hours later, the daycare called Gina's boyfriend at work. He went to the mobile home they shared and found Gina was brutally murdered. The baby was suddenly without a mom, and police were left with a case that has proven to be a tough one. Obviously, here we are 30 years later, still not solved. It was a crowded mobile home park in the heart of the city with trailers that were close together, which you can see in that photo on the right-hand side. That was the trailer that she was murdered in, and you can see just how close the trailers were. And the violence happened sometime between 9 a.m. and noon. Still, all these years later, Gina Cypher's murder remains unsolved. Initial newspaper report said that she was stabbed. The police are still keeping a lot of details secret. Now, if you look at that little playing card at the bottom of the flyer on the cold case deck, it says she was stabbed, strangled, and possibly sexually assaulted. So the playing card gives a little bit more details there. Police are, like I said, keeping a lot of details secret, which are starting to come out now. They say there have been a lot of leads that have gone nowhere. If you have any information on Gina's death, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210, or you can call Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477, or text SA Tips to Crimes 274-637, or you can go to www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit your tip. You might receive a cash reward of up to $1,000 that way. You're not required to give your name. Or you can call KBI at 800-572-7463. And there is also a governor's reward of $5,000 available for the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for Gina's death. So let's see what we can do to help, bring somebody to justice for her murder. It's been, like I said, 30 years as of December 28th, a few days ago. So let's see what we can do to help solve this crime. It needs to be solved. Heather Berry's in the house with the Justice for Cynthia Renee Gonzalez. Today was the filming for Cynthia's story on Tamron Hall show in New York. Will be aired on Friday the 9th of this month. Okay, cool.
Nice.
What's the Tamron? What? I can't even talk. What channel does the Tamron Hall show air on? I don't think I've ever heard of that show before. Is it on internet, or is it on TV, or where's that at? We've already done Ian. You going backwards?
I went down the.
I had it on there twice. Whoops.
I was gonna say that shouldn't be.
No, I had him in there twice. How did I have him in here twice? I had him in there. My bad.
Oh no, you're good. I was like, man, I'm not even drunk.
My bad.
I was like, what did I do?
No, I did. I did it. That was my bad. I didn't realize I had him in there twice. Oh, well. It happens. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe I did that. Oh, well. This is Wanda Thomas. I was reached out to and asked if I could get a flyer going for Wanda here a couple of weeks ago now. It's been. She's missing out of Topeka, Kansas since October 28th, 2025. 40 years old. 5'6", weighs between 200 and 215 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. She may use the names Aisha or Esha. She boarded a bus headed to Chicago, but has not been seen or heard from since then, and it's unknown if she made it to Chicago or not. Again, she's 40. She's 5'6", weighs between 200 and 215 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. She has a tattoo on the right side of her chest that says "My Damien" with a crown, which I zeroed in on the picture and put it down at the bottom there, but you can kind of see it in the photo there at the top too. And she has another one that I couldn't get a description on, but on the left side, you can kind of see a little bit of it sticking out from under the braids there on the left side. She was last seen wearing a gray Adidas jumpsuit. And if you have any information regarding Wanda's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And family is offering a $2,000 reward for information leading to Wanda's safe return. So we can do to help get Wanda located and back to where she needs to be. And I've got a page out in Chicago that I reached out to and asked if they could get her on their page, and they did that for me. So thank you to them for doing that for me. I appreciate that. Definitely. See if we can get her located, because like I said, it's been since October and they haven't heard a word from her since then. So
Yikes.
If you have any information, no matter how small, get that in there so we can get her found and back to where she needs to be. Let's hope.
A while ago.
Yeah. And this is one I don't know that we've ever covered her case on here before, but I was reached out to by her brother and asked about getting her flyer going again because he'd seen it before. So I found the old flyer and did the new template and added the Crime Stoppers info at the bottom and stuff. So wanted to get her on the show because I don't believe we've ever covered her. This is Tammy Lynn Carrick, missing or not missing. It's an unsolved homicide from May 1997, Kansas City, Kansas. She was shot at 3rd and Richmond in Kansas City, Kansas in April of 97. She was taken off life support in May of 97. She died from the gunshot wound to the neck, and it paralyzed her from the neck down. She was briefly revived. She couldn't talk or remember what happened. The driver of the car that left her at the hospital said it was a black male that shot her. Her case does remain unsolved, and if you have any information regarding Tammy's murder, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-573-6020 or 913-596-3000. Or you can see the Crime Stoppers banner. You can call 816-474-8477, the TIPS hotline, or you can go to kccrimestoppers.com, or you can scan that Say It Here QR code, and that'll take you to a form on the website, and you can fill out the information there and submit it there. So let's see what we can do to get Tammy some justice and her family some justice. I mean, any information anybody has, and I say this a lot, but no matter how small or insignificant you'd think it might be, definitely get it called in to see if it'll help crack this case, or at least get them going in the direction they need to go so they can try to solve this case and get some justice again for her and her family. Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't think I'd heard of that one either.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think we've ever covered her before. And like I said, her brother reached out to me, messaged me, and asked me about getting it going again because he'd seen it. I'd had a flyer a long while ago, and so I got it updated and stuff. Like I said, I wanted to cover it. And this one here is Gary Leo Nelson. He was a contractor and on rental properties in the Beloit area. There was some unusual chatter going on around town. There was a rumor that somebody was going to kill him. Around 2 a.m., December 18th, 2009, it happened. A person or persons walked through the unlocked door of Gary's home just outside of town and shot him. He was rushed to Mitchell County Hospital and flown to Wichita. He died in the operating room. Family says 2 other people in the house didn't hear the intruder or intruders. They believe Gary said a name before he died, but the lead didn't pan out. If you have any information regarding Gary's murder, please call the Kansas Bureau of Investigation at 800-572-7463 and see what we can do to get justice for Gary and his family. It's been since 2009, December 18th, so just over 7 years now. So let's see what we can do to get him and his family some justice. And again, no matter how insignificant you think that information might be or how unimportant, call it in anyway. Oh, brother, here we go. Here we go. Here's what I warned you about right here when I was talking to you before the show.
Uh-huh. Oh, goodness.
The newest addition to our family. That's Briar.
Found her way in.
Yeah, that was Briar. It's a silly cat. Let me tell you what. I've never seen a cat as affectionate as her. She'll crawl up in bed with me at night, and she'll curl up with me. She'll lick my face, lick my nose.
Really?
It's crazy. Oh, here we go. She's over here by the microphone now. Look out. Oh, Briar, what am I going to do with you? Little turkey. All right, and this is Tanya Knight. Come here. You got to get down out of camera range, buddy. You can lay here on my lap. How's that? Okay. This is going to be fun. All right, Tanya Knight. She was reported missing on December 8th, 1996. Here again about, what was it, 1996? This is 2025. 2026, but 2025 we'll go with that. So just about 29 years ago. Right? Yeah, 29 years ago. She was last seen leaving a party during the evening hours in Spring Hill, Kansas on December 7th, 1996. She intended to walk to a friend's house, but she never made it. On June 7th, 1997, Tanya's skeletonized remains were found in a farmer's field in the 21,000 block of US 169 highway in Spring Hill. Johnson County coroner ruled the case as a homicide following an autopsy. I got some additional information on this case as well. It's quite interesting too. Tanya talked to her dad about going to a sleepover, which he agreed to let her go and gave her a time to be home. Tanya was led to believe that there was going to be a party that night. It's believed that this party was a lie and never happened. No witnesses have ever came forward to say that they remember that night or confirmed there was a party that night. Two individuals identified by investigators known only by the names of Mastermind, who was a girlfriend of Tanya's, and Heavy, a boy that had a crush on Tanya, are believed to be the ones who led Tanya to believe there was a party that night. Tanya gravitated to the Mastermind because she was a bad girl type and Tanya wanted that edge. Boys started gravitating to Tanya, including one that the Mastermind liked. This led to problems between the two girls. It's believed that these problems resulted in Tanya's murder. Mastermind dropped Tanya off at a boy's house that night. The boy didn't know why Tanya was there. The boy's mom offered to give Tanya a ride home, but Tanya declined and left for home on foot about midnight. Along the route from the boy's house to Tanya's house was a cemetery. It's believed that Tanya stopped by the cemetery, where she was lured to the rear of the cemetery and killed. Then her body was thrown over a chain link fence into a field, where it was discovered by a farmer plowing his field on June 7th, 1997. At the beginning of the investigation, Mastermind and Heavy were both interviewed by police and gave an appearance that they were concerned. Mastermind was given a polygraph test, which showed signs of heavy deception. Mastermind, at one point treated it as if it were kind of fun. Neither have been called persons of interest or suspects at this point. But if anybody has any information regarding Tanya's death, please call the Johnson County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 913-715-5566 or 913-715-5560, or the TIPS hotline at 816-474-8477, or McDonald Investigations at 913-541-0237. Or you can scan that Say It Here QR code next to the cold case playing card there. And again, it'll take you to that form on the website. You can fill out information there as well. So if anybody does have any information regarding her case, please get that in and see if we can help get some justice for her family and her friends. It's been, like I said, it's been 29 years, be 30 years this December. So let's see what we can do to help that out. And the cat is vacated for the time being.
Taken off.
Yeah, she does that. And that was what I was reading the information off of there. Was that flyer there. But yeah. And I got that information from a online news article that had printed it.
Oh, really?
Article. Yeah. So that was actually released by the news. So. And this one is Caitlin Spann, missing from Wichita, Kansas since December 10th, 2025. 15 when she went missing, 5'2", 125 pounds, blonde hair, blue-green eyes. She does have severe mental health concerns, and she's without her medication. Again, she's 15, 5'2", 125 pounds, blonde hair, blue-green eyes. She has a nose piercing in her left nostril. If you have any information regarding Caitlin's disappearance, or you know her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately, or call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9254, or 316-660-9456, or 316-263-6011, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can get Caitlin located and back to where she needs to be.
I'm going to turn this next flyer on for you. I'm going to run upstairs and grab a drink, but you can just start reading it. I'll be back in like 20 seconds.
Okay. Sure.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Make sure we got the right one up there. This one's Thomas Smith. He's missing from Garden City, Kansas since January 2nd, 2026. He's 16, 5'8", 160 pounds, light brown blonde hair, hazel eyes. He was last known to be wearing a red sweatshirt and blue jeans. If you have any information regarding Thomas's disappearance, or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Garden City, Kansas Police Department at 620-276-1300, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can get Thomas located and back to where he needs to be. Hopefully we can. He needs to be found. And we'll get a flyer switched here in just a second. I'm going to switch it myself here in just a second.
I gotcha.
Oh, you got it? Okay,
yep.
Good. Didn't know if you were. That was a fast run to get a drink.
Yeah.
This one's Wyatt Johnson, missing from Baxter Springs, Kansas since December 31st, 2025. He's 17, 5'5", 140 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. Don't have much more than that, but if you have any information regarding Wyatt's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Baxter Springs, Kansas Police Department, 620-856-2112, the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see what we can do to get Wyatt located and back to where he needs to be. He definitely needs to be found, as they all do, obviously.
Yeah.
As they all do. Excuse me. And this one's Cadence Rainey. We've covered her in the past, but she's missing again since December 31st, 2025. She's 15, 5'4", 155 to 160 pounds, dirty blonde hair. Obviously, it's been dyed. The picture on the very far right end there was from about mid-December. Somebody commented it in the comments under her flyer with the date. So she's obviously dyed her hair, and she has blue-gray eyes. She does have mental health concerns. If you have any information regarding Cadence's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Montgomery County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-330-1240 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Cadence located and back to where she needs to be. Oh, mercy heavens. And this one's Emily Miller. I know we've covered her in the past, but I recently added that top far right-hand photo, and I wanted to cover her again just because I got that photo on there. I know it sounds weird, but when I get new photos, I like to add them. And even though we've covered them, cover them again to show that newer photo just to see it. But Emily Miller's missing out of Wichita, Kansas since November 1st, 2025. She's 17, 5'4", 140 pounds. Her hair last known to be dyed pink, and she has brown eyes. She has a nose ring in her right nostril. If you have any information regarding Emily's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9254 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And so we can do to get Emily located and back to where she needs to be. As it's been a while. I always worry about these young ones when they've been missing for any length of time because you just never know.
Yeah.
You know. And that's what worries me.
I always think like I don't know. A lot of times with the missing teens, I assume that they're probably like okay in the sense that they're like they're still here, they're alive. But
yeah,
I always wonder like maybe they are staying with like a friend who's older than them or something, and they think that it's fine, it's all cool, they're safe and everything. But like I always wonder like, who are these people that are allowing minors to live in their house when they're on a missing kids poster?
Right.
Like it's against the law, first of all, harboring a minor, but like harboring a runaway. I just don't know who thinks that's a good idea, that like the kid's on a poster and you're just a random adult and you think that I got it, I just won't tell anybody they're here and then I'll handle it. Like, what are you doing? Call the police. Like, why you have a runaway or whatever, you have a minor child that is not yours in your house. When it gets close to bedtime, start making phone calls. Be like, hey, I got a kid in my house. It's not my kid. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. This one's Linnea Bolin. She is missing from Elwood, Kansas since December 30th, 2025. She's 15, 5'4", 160 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. She was last seen walking in an eastbound direction. She's last seen wearing a gray sweatshirt and red and black checkered pajama pants. If you have any information regarding Linnea's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Elwood, Kansas Police Department at 785-985-3711 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See what we can do to get Linnea located and back to where she needs to be. And hopefully she's all right where she's, I hope she's okay, but so hopefully we can get her found back to where she needs to be.
Yeah.
This is the second time I've done a flyer for her. As with this one, the second time I've done a flyer for this young lady. Kiana Scales, missing from Wichita, Kansas since December 30th, 2025. She's 16, 4'10", 115 pounds, black hair that was cut short, and brown eyes. Don't have much more than that, but if you have any information regarding Kiana's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-263-6011 or 316-660-9254 or 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See what we can do to get Kiana located and back to where she needs to be.
She's got a cool name, Kiana.
Yeah. Second time I've done a flyer for that young lady and like to get her found again to make sure she's all right. Get her back to where she needs to be.
Yeah. Zariah. I like that too.
Yeah, we've covered her before. I was recently sent the picture on the far right. I cropped it to cropped it to where it's like it is on the far right, and then I zoomed in closer to get a closer look at her face. But this is Zariah Winkler, missing from Newton, Kansas since December 26, 2025. She's 14, 5'6", 115 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. It's believed that she may be in the Topeka, Kansas or Kansas City, Kansas areas. Again, she's 14, 5'6", 115 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Zariah's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Harvey County, Kansas Communications Center at 316-283-4190 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to get Zariah located and back to where she needs to be.
I feel like in the last 6 months, I've been seeing a lot more like photos without tons of filters on them. Like I feel like maybe that trend's kind of dying out. Like you're starting to see people post pictures of themselves where it's like, they might do like maybe a little bit of stuff, but at the end of the day, it pretty much looks like a human being, like a real person. And I think that's going to be, obviously you don't want anybody to ever go missing, but if you ever do go missing, it would help your friends and family if there's a couple pictures floating around of you where you haven't applied some filter to make yourself look like a celebrity or something, or it just looks like so people can, really can get a flyer out there. But yeah, I feel like I've been seeing like a lot less crazy amounts of filters on like your everyday photos you see every day. But
yeah, it's refreshing, that's for sure, because a lot of times I'll get pictures sent with filters and sometimes even effects like little butterflies or something on the face, and it's like, oh my goodness. Sometimes I realize sometimes that might be the only thing available, but it's not ideal for sure. So parents, keep in foster families, keep in mind, if you can get photos of your kids or foster kids without any filters on the phone, any effects on the phone, just plain Jane pictures. Do your best to do that, because it's very helpful in case they do go missing to have a very good unedited, unfiltered photo.
We should start an app called the God Forbid app, and it's just basically an app where like every few weeks it alerts you to take a selfie, and it just saves it. It doesn't go anywhere; it just saves it. And then if you, God forbid, anything ever happens to you, we're looking for you. Like we just have very realistic photos of you, because you and I have talked about that for a couple of years about how it's. Not trying to make a joke, but you put up a missing persons poster, and it's like, has anybody seen this person? And it's like, well, no, because that's not a real person. Like that doesn't look like a human being. That's like a very filtered. So I think that it is important to have pictures where you're not filtered out, like Ricky said, so you can kind of somebody could see you on a poster and then see you in public and put two and two together.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the comments here, and I see Jacob Joseph from Missing Coalitions tuning in. Hey, Jacob, thanks for tuning in. And Christopher Andrew commented Austin Archer was found deceased. Yep. Saw that he was located deceased, and it sounds like it was a self-harm situation
Oh wow.
on his case from the sounds of it. Cynthia Renee Gonzalez's page looks like it looks like this Friday morning the show will be on the 9th in the morning. She says she believes it's ABC KSNT. Says she'll post all these shows and air dates on her Facebook page. She also talks to the producer of ABC Nightline last night. There will also be an episode on Cynthia's case on their show. That's cool. All right. Trying to keep on some of that stuff here. And here's one we cover quite frequently. Dana Jane Bruce, missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th, 2008. Was 23 when she went missing. She's now 40. 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She had left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. Dana was last seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with the young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance, which we've since found out. And apparently it was actually green. And she left with that man at 11:30. Police have identified the man that Dana was with on the night she vanished. He had traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and the police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities have not named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. Told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush. She does not have credit cards, debit cards, checking account, cell phone, or a car. And when she went missing, she was 23. She would now be 40. She's 5'2", 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots, black at the ends with red highlights, and green or hazel eyes. Last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel in silver lettering on the front, and blue jeans. She has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She's blind in her left eye, has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced one time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department. It's 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422 or Private Investigator Leslie at 910-427-0070 and see what we can do to get Dana located and back to where she needs to be. And as you can see, my visitor returned. And she's laying here right in front of me on my desk, just laying there, holding on to my arm. She's a very affectionate cat. She likes to hop up in my bed at night when I'm sleeping and wake me up licking my arm or my nose or my cheek.
Where'd y'all get her?
My daughter picked her up as a stray. She says when she was still living at her mom, she says she walked up to the house and was getting ready to go inside, and Briar followed her up to the door.
Wow.
No collar, no tags, no nothing.
Is it short hair or long hair?
She's short hair.
Nice.
Looks like a little Serengeti.
Wow.
She's a pretty little thing. And this one is Jeremiah Demetrius Modeta, missing from Ponca City, Oklahoma since January 17, 2025. So coming up on a year here pretty soon. 22 when he went missing, now 23. He's 5'9", 150 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Jeremiah recently moved to Ponca City from Kansas City. When he went before he went missing, his bank account has not been touched, and his apartment showed signs of no disturbance. His cell phone was found in somebody else's possession, and his asthma inhaler that he never leaves behind was found on a stranger's front porch. Again, at the time of his disappearance, Jeremiah was 22. He's now 23. 5'9", weighs 150 pounds, black hair and brown eyes, has facial hair and a Playboy bunny tattoo on his shoulder blade. Was last seen wearing a Kansas City Chiefs hoodie, jeans, and work boots. If you have any information regarding Jeremiah's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Ponca City, Oklahoma Police Department at 580-767-0370 or call the anonymous tip line at 580-762-5100. You can send a tip online at the tipsubmit.com /webtips.aspx question mark agency ID equals 496. All right, and fill out the crime tip sheet there, or you can send it that way, or you can text the Ponca City Police Department plus your message to crimes 274-637 from your cell phone, or you can email them at crimestoppers@poncacityoK.gov. And let them know what you know about Jeremiah and see if we can't get him located and back to where he needs to be. And okay, this is Heather saying, I just got a comment from Jackie Hay. Oh, the one that I was telling you about that's posing as the Jackie Hay is not the Jackie Hay, but posting it. It's actually a reply from a comment made under a Net Lawless's post. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, there's somebody using Jackie Hay's name and stuff, commenting that she's not, she's been found and this and that. And I have talked to a detective about it, and he's pretty sure he knows who it is, but he's going to dig into it anyway. It's not. He said it's definitely not her because they've already cleared her through DNA that it's not her, but she keeps insisting she is her.
Yeah,
but DNA don't lie. So there's that. She replied, "Stop looking for me." Oh, that's great. Replied, "Stop looking for me." Well, we are looking for the Jackie Hay. We know she's not the Jackie Hay. She's somebody pretending to be Jackie Hay. So we'll keep looking for the real Jackie Hay.
That's weird, man.
It is weird.
People that
I've seen a lot of that recently. There was a gal that came forward that insisted she was Madeline McCann, and they did the same thing, cleared her through DNA. And there was another one here in Canada. Oh, there was a guy that came forward and said he was Adam Herman, and cleared him through DNA. He wasn't Adam Herman. So, but anyway, thank you everybody for joining us tonight on the show. Great to see everybody again in 2026, and hopefully everybody's doing okay. And I'm hanging in there, trying to get things squared away as best I can. Still just going to work every day and coming home with my kids at night. So, and my dog and now my cat. Well, my daughter's cat. Might as well be my cat. She's taking a real shine to me. Right. But yeah, good to see everybody, and hope everybody had a good Christmas, good New Year's, and everything. Just want to say, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight so we can go over these cases, and hopefully we can get some cases solved this year, especially on the unsolved murder front, because there's a lot of unsolved murders in this state that need solved, and hopefully we can help get them there. And then there's a lot of missing folks that need to be found, and some of them have been missing for especially long times, and hopefully we can generate information to get those folks found and return to their families. Just takes the right person doing the right thing, and I'm a firm believer that somebody knows something. It's just a matter of stepping up to do the right thing. I just, whether it's the person that's involved in the situation or somebody they confided in or something, somebody knows something. They just need to step up and do the right thing. And I just want to pray until everybody, until we see everybody again next week. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. Have a good night. Amen. Amen.